Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm here on the Lumber River here in southeastern North Carolina, and we're here to go walk through this old ghost town known as Bluff, North Carolina. It wasn't always a ghost town. Not too many, less than 10 years ago, there was about 1,000 people that lived here in this community. But as of now, it's estimated maybe 400 to 450 people are living here in Bluff. I'm going to tell you why people moved away, what caused this huge change in population. We're going to get into it today. Thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and cross the Lumber River via this bridge right here and get started. All right, so Highway 76 is the main thoroughfare that goes through the middle of Bluff. Right here is the Bluff Baptist Church. And if you did not know, Bluff was the name originally given to the bluff overlooking the Lumber River, where we started our video off today. In 1807, plans were made to build a town upon the lands of John Wooten at the bluff to be known as Wootenton. The town was established, but the name was never changed. Then the community was reincorporated in 1873. Now, Bluff really made its money off of the tobacco industry. It was a major commodity grown here in the area, but by the 80s, tobacco growing started subsiding. And that's kind of where things started to change a little bit for this community. And then when you look at the 1999, there was a hurricane that ravaged this area. A lot of eastern North Carolina just took on huge amounts of rain and flooding during Hurricane Floyd of 1999. Bluff weathered through that, made it okay. And then by 2016, another hurricane hit this area. Hurricane Matthew dumped huge amounts of rain. You know, I think 100 people lost their houses and businesses here, something like that. And then right when they was trying to battle back from Hurricane Matthew, in 2018, fall of 2018, Hurricane Florence hit. And I remember Hurricane Florence vividly because it come ashore, the eye wall actually come ashore right next to Carolina Beach on Wrightsville Beach. And I remember once it made landfall as a Category 2 storm, it just slowed down and just spun here in southeastern North Carolina. That's bad news for a lot of communities. I remember Highway 74 from Charlotte to Wilmington was closed down for weeks, if not a month, because the highway was completely underwater. You cannot get to Wilmington on 74. Same from Raleigh to Wilmington. You could not go down through there because Interstate 40 was underwater in a lot of places. 421 going into Wilmington was underwater. And guess what else was underwater? Highway 76 right here in Bluff. You can go online, look at a lot of photos. There's some cool videos out there of like drone footage of them flying drones down the middle of town. And all these windows that you see behind us probably have 4 to 5 feet of water up on them. And that's why this place is so vacant now and is known as kind of a ghost town. But as you see the people getting out of church right here behind me, there's still people here in the area that's fighting back that this is their home and they have decided not to move. But it's just crazy when you look at the census reports and stuff about this place. At one time, 1,000 people lived here, and at one point it was down to about 400 people. So that's 60% of your population that vacated the area to go live elsewhere because they lost so much. Kind of sad when you think about it, you know, it's so horrible, you know, especially here recently in Western North Carolina. You know, when I went up to Asheville and you see all that flood damage up there, you know, Bluff at the time back in 2018, it got a lot of the same kind of stuff because of this river. It's just right behind us here, the Lumber River, just overspilled the banks and just flooded the whole community. So let's go ahead and walk around over here and kind of see what we can see. I do notice a lot of the buildings here on this side of the road has already been demolished, dismantled, and moved. I don't know if that means they're going to rebuild, or are they just like, this is the area that's prone to flooding and we're not going to rebuild this, and we're going to move the town up the street a little bit. Don't really know, but let's go walk around a little bit and check some stuff out. Thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Let's go check out Bluff. Yeah, as you can see right here on the back side of these buildings, you can see they've got bobcats out here and all kinds of big heavy machinery where they're deconstructing this side, all the buildings on this side also, that was just took on so much damage and water during those 2 hurricanes, Matthew and Florence. And right here is the J.B. Evans Municipal Building. I know there's some photos out there of this place during the floods. I noticed the shapes of the windows up there are very prominent in a lot of photos that I've seen, where just so much flooding took place right here in this area. So even though they have demolished a lot of the buildings here on the north side of the street, they have left this cool clock behind. And I noticed in quite a few of the photos I've seen from some of the flood damage, water was halfway up on this clock stand right here. So I wonder if they're going to try to preserve this clock, maybe leave it in place and just rebuild next to it. It's really a cool looking clock. Kind of like that. So one of the few things that I can see that's actually open here in town with lights on is the church and the post office. And right next to the post office, look at this old building. Look at that. It looks like maybe that used to be some stairs or steps that went up to the entryway to this, or whatever this is. I think this might have been like a restaurant, at least over here, because I noticed they got a little mural up here on the side of this building that says Restaurant on Main. It actually has like a little menu painted on the bottom, like right there. Let's go around to the front. When I was walking down here, when I first got here, I didn't really see anything on the fronts of these places, like giving you an idea of what it is. No signage left behind at all. But it indeed is done. They must be in the process of gutting some of these places. Whew, look at that. All the damage. My goodness. But yeah, I would imagine at one time this was maybe some kind of a restaurant of some type. So I walked in that doorway over there, and these two rooms are actually connected. But, you know, I don't know if it was a restaurant or not. It might have been. It does have like that black ceiling. You see that sometime in restaurants, but it's hard to tell. There's just so much debris and damage. I don't know if this was stuff that was left over from the flood or what happened, but it's really a very big mess. That's for dang sure. So that was a quick look at these buildings right here. And right here between this building to the left and the other building we just walked through, they have this little cool little courtyard area here. Very interesting. Look at all the vines cascading up the side of the building. I bet this place looked wild during the warmer months when it was all green. Maybe they had a little fountain right here at one time. It is really difficult to understand what some of this stuff is, even though there is a sign right here on the ground that says McNeil's Tax Service. Right back there is the railroad tracks. Wow. I mean, everything is just dilapidated. Look back here on the back side. They got bars on the windows there. I'm gonna walk over here. I'll just kind of take a quick peek inside this doorway right here. Whew. Got a lot of pegboard all along the walls back here. This place had a lot of something at one time. It's hard to tell. They're just papers and all kinds of ceiling that has fallen with time. Yeah. Not really sure. Yeah, this is some kind of tax service, because look right here. IRS e-file. This is where people would have came and figured out their taxes. This has been some offices back here. All right. Let's get on out here on the main street. Walk down a little bit further. All right, and right here is another door. Got some target practice going on. Oh man, this is like a stock for a rifle. Oh, look at there. That sign up there. It says deposit, repairs, stocks or store. Oh, this is like a firearm shop. That's why they have those practice 12-meter practice shot papers up here. Look, they still have a whiteboard in here to keep up with stuff, parts and things. How sad is that? This is somebody's place of work or business. It's pretty dark back through there. I don't really want to go tracking back through there too deep. Just head on outside. All right, so I made my way to the backside of like that gun shop, repair shop, whatever you want to call it. And this place on the backside of this wooden structure is just completely falling in. And this right here on the railroad track. And look at all this debris back here on this property. Here at this railroad crossing. All kinds of stuff right over there. And then if I look to the left, you can see these buildings also are just falling in. The sides are falling off of them. You can just see inside of them. Maybe somebody come over here and stripped it and they're going to knock them down too. I don't know if the storm would have did that or not, and it's still like that. Probably not. But Flare Bluff, North Carolina has definitely seen better days. But hopefully, with the clearing of these old buildings, maybe things are heading, maybe they got a plan. Maybe things are heading in the right direction now. You know, sometimes you got to knock down the old and rebuild new better, and, you know, make the ground higher due to the flooding and stuff like that. Maybe that's a possibility for this area. But all in all, I guess that will pretty much do it for me today here in Flare Bluff, North Carolina. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Very interesting to come to places like this just to kind of see it with your own eyes and see what happened and see how things are turning the corner, because it is very, very promising when you see them remove the old, because these stores that we was looking at and the ones across the street that we couldn't see today because they had already been flattened, they've been there since 2018, just dormant, just sitting there, you know, just wasting away. So if they got the money, you know, to get people to come in and clear it out, that's a good sign, I think. I'm going to take that as a positive, that they can rebuild Flare Bluff back better. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. If you enjoyed today's content about Flare Bluff, please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Put any comments down below. If you know anything about Flare Bluff, North Carolina, do you have an inside track on what's going on? Is it a positive thing that they removed the buildings down the street here? And it looks like the other side of the street's going to be demolished also. I'm going to say that's a good thing. But definitely put in the comment section down below if you know anything about Flare Bluff, if you're from this community or area. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, friends, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Y'all have a good day.